So here we are at the final season of the original Sex and the City series. And watching the season just really made me emotional like the whole time. For me, it's like it doesn't matter that I've seen the show 1,000 times. It doesn't matter if I've seen the show and have taken no breaks from watching it on repeat over and over. It doesn't matter how many times I've seen it. I am always going to be emotional at the last season of any show, even if I know that there's literally a movie. And this show is a reboot. I don't know why. Listen, I was in my feelings, but I can't wait because now that means I can talk about literally anything, and that all the times where I was like, oh, these are the comments for spoilers. Now you guys can actually go back and like listen to those if you're one of those people that didn't get to listen to any of the spoilers. Man, this is kind of sad. Okay, let's begin.
Sierra loves TV. Yes, I made a theme song so that I can talk about all my favorite shows. Oh yeah.
And this is just your disclaimer that this is not me talking about any of the actors themselves, but more so their characters. Please do not attack me in the comments. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion, even those who disagree with me. But let's keep it friendly. All right, let's get started with the show. So let's begin with when Season 6A aired. Season 6 of Sex and the City aired June 22nd, 2003. There are 12 episodes in 6A and 8 in 6B because the season was split. In episode 1, Carrie is getting ready for her first date with Berger. Miranda is trying not to be in love with Steve. Charlotte is in a predicament with Harry because he tells her he doesn't want to marry her unless she's Jewish. Steve and Miranda are too cute to me. I'm sorry. I didn't really like how mean she was to him with the don't you have a life thing, but who would I be if my favorite characters didn't all run from happiness? When Miranda says,
"We belong together,"
I got so emotional. The parallels between Big and Miranda baffle me every single time. Miranda and Big grew up in two-parent stable households
my father came home every night at 7 on the dot, and I have no clue about men either.
and are both confused about life. They both can't make up their minds about who they love, and they both have commitment issues. Like, are you guys seeing what I'm seeing, or am I tripping? Not Charlotte trying to get Harry to change his mind about her being a Jew during the dance. Okay, so let me give you guys the rundown on Berger. Here's my issue. Jack Berger was literally like when Billy Burke, aka Bella Swan's dad, was dating Lorelai in Gilmore Girls. Jack Berger belongs in Gilmore Girls. Gilmore Girls should have swapped them out because they both were in the wrong TV universe. Berger was speedy, witty. He would have been like Magic in contrast to Lorelai. It's like Chandler Bing dating Carrie. The humor of the season changed a lot. I don't know who they added on. I can't tell. Like, I don't know any of the behind the scenes stuff when it comes to why he was written this way, but he just really seemed like he was in the wrong universe. Charlotte contemplates changing her religion to be with Harry. I'm actually not going to comment on this storyline because I just don't think it's my place. I love how accepting Harry is of Charlotte. I hate that Miranda didn't still tell him, but I get it because she got 4 good reasons not to. 1, they're at the table, and while she thinks the dim lighting is romantic, he thinks that it's dark in there. Then he says that he knows her, and he ends up guessing completely wrong about what she actually wanted to say. Then he says he has a girlfriend. Then he says he's not in love with her anymore. I mean, I get it. I just hate it because they're my favorites. Once again, Carrie is leaving a friend because of something to do with a man. Carrie runs into Aiden, and I don't know, it's just something about the whole I have a baby, I have a date moment that was just real awkward. Like, it was awkward. I don't know why. I feel like Aiden still loves Carrie, just saying. In episode 2, Berger and Carrie are having trouble with their dance practice. You know what I mean? Samantha's after the waiter at a raw food restaurant. Charlotte announces that she is going to become a Jew. Miranda is obsessed with a new show to try and distract herself from her loving Steve. I love that this is before Netflix took over, so stuff like this was extremely exciting for people at that time. Anybody ever think about how when they show characters watch TV, it's almost like they're mimicking us because we're watching a character watch a character watch a character. Like, then their character on the TV watches. It's like, yeah. It's like, remember that episode of SpongeBob where like he was playing with those dolls and like the Krusty Krab fake model? It was weird. It's like, you know, when you play the Sims game and then they're playing the Sims game. It's like, ugh, I don't know what it is about that just kind of gives me the creeps. If anybody Jewish is watching this, is what Henry said about how they reject you a bunch of times actually true? Also, so if Charlotte is 37, does this mean that it's a year since from when the last season begun? Because I'm kind of confused about that timeline there. I'm beginning to see myself relate to Charlotte a lot lately, and yeah, I don't know what it is. Like, I in my mind, if I was rich and like had all this money to buy all these different clothes for myself, I would dress like in the fairy core or like the coquette girls. I really like that, like black coquette girls. heels, yes. And even like, what is this? What's like new money aesthetic? Like I really like stuff like that. I'm realizing that that's actually kind of who I am inside. I don't know, like I used to be one of those girls to be like, oh my gosh, like I hate pink. You know, I think I said this before in a video once, that like I used to be one of those girls that used to be like, I hate pink. Pink is so disgusting and ugly and like it's so girly. I used to hate on girly stuff. And like I think I saw a TikTok once where someone was like, the pipeline from being an I hate pink girly to being obsessed with pink is like insane. Yeah, I'm there. Okay, back to the show. If you really pay attention, it looks like they changed the baby actor for Brady. I can't even blame the girl for giving up against Samantha because she paid for her food, and I feel like that, as a tourist, that sings to my heart. I would do the same thing. One of my favorite moments in this episode is where Carrie says,
I was resourceful, and I was drunkety drunk.
Carrie drunk in this episode had me crying laughing. I will say I enjoyed the angle that they went there with them not just having this immediate chemistry. In episode 3, Carrie is visiting the conversation of Berger's ex. Miranda's still in love with Steve, and Steve is talking about his new girlfriend a lot more. Miranda finds plastic bags in the baby bag. Wink, wink. Samantha is sleeping with the waiter guy. Charlotte is trying to let go of her old traditions and officially becomes a Jew. So what is Sex and the City trying to tell us? Okay, they're clearly trying to tell us something. This is so spot on. So coinky dinkily, Berger's ex-girlfriend's name happens to be Lauren. As in Graham. They thought they were slick. That's funny. Y'all cracked a funny there. I'm just kidding. I kid. Jen Coolidge is in this episode. And yeah, those bags were awful. I couldn't say they were camp. I couldn't say they were anything, but ouch. They were an eyesore. And I'm not a fashion guru. Let me stop pretending like I'm a fashion guru. Like I really need to stop. I'm gonna get myself in trouble because I just know my day is coming where someone might see me in public and I may not be looking the best. I love sweatpants. I do. I love sweatpants and I love the lazy girl aesthetic. I literally just went on a tangent with y'all about how I want to be the coquette girl. This is what's stopping me, is because I like to be comfortable, and wearing stuff that's like dressy for me, it makes me uncomfortable because it's like I know I have to sit a certain way and it's just a lot. I am always going back and forth. This is why I never get anything done when it comes to like dressing more like what I see myself as in my head. It keeps not happening because of stuff like this and because it's expensive. Carrie gets caught up in an over-the-phone dance lesson with Big. Charlotte's right about Carrie still keeping the door open with Big. The longer she lets it go on, it's so easy to just slip right into old cheating habits. Oops, I fell and cheated. It's kind of like that, aka every man's response to cheating. And if you come in my comments with that not all men crap, I just want to ask you a question. Why are you defending a cheater? Not Samantha trying to pay him after they slept together. Her timing was so off. Not Miranda talking about some C after Brady fell off the couch. Like she won. This storyline with Carrie kind of reminds me of like when Carrie was obsessed about Big's ex-wife. I can see how Christmas will be hard to give up. I love Christmas. In episode 4, Carrie reads Berger's book. Miranda comes to a calming realization and helps Charlotte. Charlotte makes Shabbos for Harry. I love Sam and Smith together. Seeing Carrie gush over Berger is so cute. Being a creative, dating another creative sounds like fun because there's tons to talk about and because you're both just feeding off each other's creative energy. But when one of the creatives in the couple isn't as impressed by the other, it can get very messy. Because one thing about creative people is that we're extremely attached to our art. I think Carrie wasn't trying to be mean. I think she was just being funny or making an observation. But when you put all the pieces together, you understand why he took such a small comment like that so seriously. I know some people are going to feel like he should just accept the criticism and expect it, but those people, they just don't really grasp like how vulnerable an artist actually is. It's kind of like why Summer Walker said that she was having such a hard time performing her songs, because to her it wasn't just song lyrics, there were feelings attached to it. For me, I look at that kind of stuff and I'm like, that's what makes art so beautiful. I admire how seriously Smith is taking his sobriety. I love Miranda. I love how much she cares about Charlotte's feelings, even if she doesn't agree with everything she says or does. Miranda is just a really good friend in my opinion. I'm talking about up until this point, guys, okay? I'm talking about up until this point. We're not discussing the revival yet. So let's get into the whole Charlotte and Harry fight. I feel that Harry did appreciate what she did. He just was excited about the game. He even offered to watch just one game to compromise because he could see how important it was to her. Also, I saw the scene as Harry not being as thrilled because like this is his actual culture. And he maybe grew up with these types of things all the time, so it really wasn't as exciting as it was to Charlotte. I don't think it was a personal attack on Charlotte, but I see why she was frustrated because she feels like she was willing to sacrifice a lot to be with him, and he couldn't sacrifice missing one game for her. She was acting nuts though. The comment about how people view their relationship was below the belt. It broke my heart to see Harry leave. Berger being so avoidant about what he was feeling was the problem. Yes, Carrie hurt his feelings, but he should have just been honest about that. People from New York settled the debate. Do women in New York wear scrunchies? In episode 5, Carrie gets paid from her book sales, while Berger isn't getting sales. Samantha gets invited to Smith's play, and Charlotte is having trouble moving on from Harry, and Miranda is still in love with Steve. This episode kind of reminded me of when Steve and Miranda broke up after shopping together. It's a similar pattern here. I hate watching Steve not know that Miranda is in love with him. I literally feel so bad for Miranda, I could cry. Berger is insane. She literally says, "Don't go fast." I feel like he was trying to feel like a man again because he couldn't handle her having more success than him. But good on him for apologizing. I don't know why, but him kicking the wall during their argument was really cracking me up. And we had Stanford in this episode. Thank you guys so much for returning for another video. If you did not watch my Gilmore Girls video, I explained that I'm trying to do my videos a little bit differently now, where instead of releasing a whole season, I just do like a couple episodes at a time, maybe 1 to 5. So yeah, testing that out. Hopefully it works. Hopefully it sticks. I feel like there are going to be some people in the comments that are actually Berger fans because, nah, I'm just kidding. I will see you guys in the next one.